2018 Infiniti QX30 SUV Review. The good points of Infiniti QX30 SUV. Unique styling. Simple engine lineup. Well equipped. Easy to navigate trim levels. The bad points of Infiniti QX30 SUV. Ride may very well be better. Cramped inside. Lackluster handling. Confusing body style. The Infiniti QX30 is usually a strange proposition. Based around the same underpinnings as one of its principal rivals, the Mercedes-Benz GLA, it shares its bodywork using the Q30 hatchback, but sits a better view and boasts 5mm wider body cladding. If any car embodies the marketing fluff on the crossover genre, blending both hatchback and SUV virtues, it's surely the QX30. Its rivals range from the Mini Countryman and Volvo V40 Cross Country, or if your financial budget will stretch that far, arguably the Range Rover Evoque 2. It's a reasonably limited vehicle, having an eye-catching design and plenty of safety and driver assistance features. Automatic and all-wheel drive only. All versions on the QX30 include a part-time all-wheel drive AWD and also a 7-speed twin-clutch automatic gearbox, which suggests no matter whether you select petrol or diesel, you'll have a very car that's very easy to drive and capable enough to handle slippery surfaces. To match with all the more premium nature from the QX30 in comparison with its hatchback sibling, Infiniti's smaller 1.5-liter diesel and 1.6-liter petrol engines don't make grade. Instead, the larger power plants can be found. That means you can employ a 2.0-liter petrol with 211 horsepower, badged 2.0 tons, or perhaps a 2.1-liter diesel with 170 horsepower that Infiniti's cheekily made sound larger by calling it 2.2D. Both engines, sourced from Mercedes, are turbocharged, but when you don't exactly get sizzling performance, they're not slow either. The petrol would be the faster, experiencing this 0.62 miles per hour sprint in 7.3 seconds, as the diesel takes 8.5 seconds. These engines boast 42 miles per gallon and 58 miles per gallon respectively. Smart and well-insulated cabin. The well-finished interior in the Q30 is carried over, including comfortable seats as well as a noise-canceling system within the diesel that creates for a very well-insulated cabin. Though it sits over the Q30 45mm taller than sport models, the organization has stiffened the QX30's suspension so its handling doesn't suffer. Don't expect any hot hatchback-style handling, however. How a QX30 drives is perfectly fine, but it's not particularly exciting. High-tech safety and assistance features. Infiniti claims the QX30 will be the easiest car to park rolling around in its segment as a result of a combination of a 360-degree camera, automatic parking and moving object detection system. Radar-guided cruise control has additionally been introduced, but unlike some rival cars, Infiniti has utilized a special plating technique for its front badge, allowing the radar to cover behind it and eliminating untidy grille addenda. Further tech is available in the form from the firm's InTouch multimedia system, including a 7.0-inch touchscreen controlled similarly to smartphones, via swipe and touch commands. A voice control strategy is also included. The verdict. The QX30 feels very different through the Mercedes-Benz GLA class it's depending on, and prefer that car. It isn't exactly with a sharp end with the SUV market sector. It's appealing and quirky in case you like to stand out from your crowd, but merely because it's materially different, it's actually not better than its more talented rivals. You just need to see our 2017 group test of best stylish SUVs to discover what alternatives are out there for individuals who want to cut a dash. More to do with this not entirely unfamiliar offbeat crossover, Infiniti QX30 SUV review. Simple engine range with 2 choices. Q30's smaller engines not carried over. You can decide a 2.0-liter petrol or 2.1-liter diesel. There's a trimmed-down range here in comparison with what you get inside the Q30 hatchback. The 1.5 and 1.6-liter engines are from the agenda, with just 2 larger 4-cylinder units sourced from Mercedes-Benz offered. QX30 2.0 tons petrol. Of the 2 units to be had, the 2.0-liter petrol offers more power and pace but constitutes a little less sense because increased running costs. It's an extra faster versus the diesel from 0.62 miles per hour, clocking in at 7.3 seconds, and precedes a higher top speed of 143 miles per hour. That's largely on account of its 211 horsepower and 350 Nm of torque, even though the latter is matched from the diesel engine. It's more refined versus the diesel but nonetheless sounds strained when pushed hard, and doesn't offer much from the way of excitement or intrigue. QX30 2.2D diesel. Ignore what the 2 main .2D badging suggests. The diesel engine underneath the QX30's bonnet is Mercedes' familiar, but clattery, 2.1-liter unit. While it's slower versus the petrol, it's not by much, and yes, it costs less to operate and feels punchier within the middle in the rev range. Its 170 horsepower and 350 Nm of torque means this version from the QX30 take 8.4 seconds to acquire from 0.62 miles per hour, and yes, it tops out at 134 miles per hour. Although it ought to be a reliable motor, now it is starting to feel its age, in particular when pushed hard if it becomes quite noisy. Infiniti employs special noise-canceling technology designed for this engine. Although it helps into a degree, it's not entirely effective. Automatic only gearbox. Only one choice here. All QX30 models employ a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, unlike the Q30 that provides a manual. It does a good job and feels well matched with the idea to engine. While it's somewhat hesitant, simply really comes alive whenever you take control of it using the steering wheel mounted paddles. Infiniti QX30 features comfort biased suspension. It still steers and grips well but doesn't offer enjoyable. Standard all-wheel drive boosts traction. Standard for all-wheel drive means you high numbers of traction, but there isn't great to be had pushing the limit on the tires. The QX30 arrives like its hatchback stablemate, the Q30, despite the fact that it features a revised suspension build. In addition, you find a raised ride height and off-road styling, but we wouldn't recommend you attack any tricky green lanes or quarries inside QX30. It'll tackle a campsite or mud track, but that's about its limit. The steering is surprisingly good. It reacts quickly to small movements with the heavy wheel and provides the QX30 a sense of poise. It's quite heavy though, offering little feedback from what is going on underneath the front wheels. This means it might be quite effort to park or navigate around a good and twisty city route. The better value Toyota CHR is way better in this respect. Mercedes-Benz switchgear and dials. Attractively styled with decent materials used. Satin of graphics or needs to look dated. We were impressed through the Q30's cockpit whenever we first drove it, and it also's just like the QX30 interior. Things have moved on a little bit since then, though this also car is now beginning feel a tad dated, despite being relatively recent. Still, the building is good, along with the stylish sweep in the dashboard is of interest, with decent feeling materials used throughout. Loads of switches and dials came straight on the Mercedes-Benz GLA, and although that isn't a bad thing, it will erode the individuality in the Infiniti. Doesn't suit taller drivers. As while using Q30, you sit oddly high up from the QX30, and also the optional panoramic glass sunroof consumes even more headroom. If you're over 6 feet in height, you might find yourself banging your head around the roof, which can be obviously not optimal. Equally, the massive wheel appears like it gets inside the way of people with longer legs. We're also not huge fans from the InTouch multimedia system. Rivals from Audi, BMW and Mercedes-Benz are typically better. It's just a little bit slow to respond, plus the graphics don't look particularly up to date. Decent ride about the motorway. Not a lot on rural roads. Good seats but high driving position. Considering the sporty nature on most cars within this segment, the QX30 actually features a refreshingly comfortable ride. There's a caveat here though: while it deals with big lumps and bumps well, it feels suitably firm over poor road surfaces and potholes. The seats are squashy enough, but there's certainly not enough interior space for 5, so comfort levels is going to be compromised when you fill the QX30 with passengers. Quiet cabin when cruising. The petrol engine could be the quieter on the two, whilst the diesel features noise-cancelling technology. It's challenging to say how effective this is due to you can't turn it off. Even so, the simple fact is always that clatter in the 2.1-liter diesel motor is audible inside cabin. Still, in the event you're just bumbling around at low revs for the motorway, for instance, the QX30's cabin can be a peaceful place. Just stay away in the accelerator pedal. 2 trim levels that has a long standard kit list. Premium tech adds items like LED headlights. Not that numerous options to select. Infiniti has kept things relatively easy. This is because there's 2 trim levels called Premium and Premium Tech, as well as a handful of option packs. Standard Infiniti QX30 SUV equipment. The entry-level premium trim lives as much as its name that has a long number of standard kit. Externally, the QX30 has 18-inch alloys, satin chrome window trim, roof rails and bumper inserts, plus plastic wheel arch moldings and side sills. There's a suite of LEDs, including daytime running lights, front fog lamps and rear combination lights. However, the headlights are halogen. The door mirrors are heated and electrically adjustable and show puddle lamps. As you move, the exhaust carries a chrome finish. What's the lining like? Inside, the cloth seats feature height adjustment and powered lumbar support about the driver's side, whilst the rear bench folds 4060. There's shiny black interior trim and also a leather multifunction leader, with reach and rake adjustment. In relation to gadgetry, you receive rear parking sensors, lane departure warning, auto lights and wipers, auto-dimming rear view and driver's door mirror, dual-zone climate control and rear vent center console, heated windscreen washer jets and cruise control with speed limiter. The 7.0-inch touchscreen display screen infotainment system features satin, DAB, traffic sign recognition, voice control and Bluetooth streaming. There can also be USB ports with touchscreen phone and iPod connectivity. Upgrade to Premium Tech and you receive loads of extra technology, unsurprisingly. Kicking things off are LED headlights with smart high beam, front power seats with memory, keyless entry and initiate, and also a rear view camera with front and back parking sensors. There will also be several styling upgrades including chrome door handles, suede headliner, leather seats, and also a rear center armrest with cup holders. Optional Infiniti QX30 SUV extras. As well, like a collection of metallic paint options, it's also possible to spec privacy glass for rear windows and tailgate, glass roof with electric sunshade, along with a Bose stereo. Other options can be found in packs, and many are on a which trim level going for. The Tech Pack is undoubtedly an option for premium cars and adds automatic park advice about a round view monitor, front and rear parking sensors with display, keyless entry system and engine start button, chrome overlay within the exterior door handles. There's fashionable cafe teak style pack for premium tech cars, which adds chocolate Napa leather seats with graphite inserts and black stitching, satin silver door mirrors with LED indicators, aluminum kick plates, privacy glass for rear windows and tailgate. Similar Infiniti Q30 incorporates a 5-star Euro NCAP rating. Decent standard kit, yet not much driver assistance. Optional safety pack for the greatest spec cars only. While the Infiniti QX30 doesn't have a unique Euro NCAP, the Q30 on which it is largely based was presented with the full 5 stars. There's a significant list of standard safety kit, including ABS, traction control, forward collision warning, plus 7 airbags. However, when you want such things as blind spot warning, automatic parking with a round view monitor, and adaptive cruise control, you'll want the safety pack. This is definitely an optional extra which might be fitted just to top spec premium tech cars, so if you decide a base spec QX30 you'll pass up. How many ICE-fix baby car seats can I fit into an Infiniti QX30 SUV? You will surely have just 2, suited to the outer rear chairs, because there's no front seat mounting point option. The good news will be the raised ride height makes it easier to lift child seats and kids into the car. 5 seats but comfortable space for 4. Boot is reasonable and not class-leading. Interior is cramped despite exterior dimensions. There's less room as you'd expect from your external dimensions. The QX30 appears to be quite large car from the outside, but in reality it only has room for 4 adults inside. What's more, those inside rear will feel hard created by in comparison to its head and legroom, so you would like to prioritize top seats for taller passengers. The Infiniti QX30 looks large through the outside, mainly due to its jacked-up suspension and off-road cladding, which both enhance the visual impact with the car. In reality though, it's exactly the same size every other 5-door family hatchback and will fit into most parking spaces you'll find inside the UK. Where it can suffer somewhat in this respect would be the weight with the steering, which turns any arm-twirling, inner-city maneuvers right into a workout. The boot is reasonable, with 420 liters available, smaller compared to Mercedes-Benz GLA. It's according to. Getting things into the boot is fairly easy on account of its large, square opening. Even so, the lip you should lift things over it's superb.